Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Small Business Bootcamp. Please let me know if you can see my screen. If you cannot, please let me know. In the question and answers, there's no chat, so your privacy can be protected. So in the meantime, put it in the chat. How are you doing today? I mean, in the question and answers, let me know how you're feeling. We are ready to rock and roll. I'm excited, excited, excited. Let's see. All right, I hope you have your pen and paper ready. This is going to be a jam-packed session. It's exciting. I can't wait to impact all the knowledge that I want to give you so that you can be empowered to run your business and knowing all your numbers, knowing where your numbers are going, how your profit and loss is being calculated. I'm trying to see if I was trying to see if I can get a live schedule C, but it seems to me TurboTax wanted me to fill a lot of questions. And to me, that was a waste of time. So I'm going to give you some screenshots and I'll walk you through, but I'll try and do it by the end of the session. If not, I probably will do it next week for it. So for now, 10:01, let's get started. So everybody, I'm Juliana Nsonwa Kennedy. I'm a licensed certified public accountant. I'm licensed in Illinois and Kentucky, and I'm also licensed in Canada. As far as you can see, I am a virtual CPA. I can work any state. I just will not be able to sign audits in any state other than Illinois, and everywhere else, I can definitely do tax returns, accounting strategies. I can provide that service. So with that said, let's get started. So today, I want to give you the one-on-one as far as accounting goes. So most of you get confused as to where do I post my transactions? What does this mean? So let's get straight into it. And I tend to use QuickBooks for this because it has the balance sheet in an order of cash flow at the bank and the accounts receivable. So hopefully it did not time me out. So let's see. So yeah, yes, it didn't time me out, thank God. So on here, so this training is going to be a mixture of QuickBooks training. Okay, so in the QuickBooks, what I tend to do is I make sure that the setup is correct over here. So I'm just going to move the panel here. So in the setup, you want to make sure you have your company name and the type of form that you are filing. So you can put your EIN in here. This is a dummy file, so it doesn't have any EIN, live EIN. And then you have to open this here, make sure that you selected the right company information in here. So over here, you have to tell it which form you're filing. Since we are concentrating on Schedule C, I'm just going to do I'm going to do 1040. And if you are limited liability, feel free to do limited liability. So I'm just going to do that. And then select the industry. When you select the industry, it kinds of help you. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if you can see the screen. You see where it says question and answer questions? Put in a question, let me know if you can see my screen because I had a message that recording stopped. So whoever just joined, I want you to let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, so I'm in the process of setting up the QuickBooks. You have unsaved changes. I'm going to save it. So I'm in the QuickBooks. I'm trying to show you how you set it up from the get-go. So I'm just going to continue here. So under the company and settings, you're going to have to put in your EIN. and then make sure you select the right form that you are. If you're limited liability, you select the limited liability. If you're 1040, you put the 1040. And the address, of course, is correct. So this is the QuickBooks program. I'm just going over how you set it up, the address. And then over here, you want to make sure that you set the expenses. You can turn all these features off or on. This is all under the gear on the right when you go into QuickBooks homepage. And then you go here, company and accountant settings. So under the expenses, you go here, you turn them on and off. You read all of them, see what you want, because you all can read. So I'm not going to go in detail with that. And then the key thing is come to the advanced here. Make sure your year starts January. Most of you have January. So this is in the QuickBooks program I'm going over. The type of a system you use, I tell everybody the accounting method, you can either be a cash method or accrual method. So the cash method means that everything that you pay cash by December 31st is what you can write off. Everything that you received in cash is what you can report as income. So when somebody says, are you on, what method of accounting are you on? Are you on the accrual or you're on cash method? So the cash method, everything that came in cash has to be reported for taxes. Everything that you paid in cash has to be reported as expense. The accrual method means that whether you have received the money or not, when you make this sale, it has to be reported as income. Same thing applies to the expenses. If you buy, say, 10,000 items December 31st, you receive the invoice. As long as it's dated December 31st, whether you have paid it or not, you can write it off as an expense. That is the accrual method. So those are the two differences. So the accrual is whether you've paid it or not, whether you've received it or not, as long as it's within that date, you have to report it for taxes. Cash is whatever you've received in cash, whatever you paid in cash is what you report for taxes. Tell me you understand. I'm going to check and see if you have questions for me. Tell me you understand. Type in the question box. You will see it looks like a bubble. It will say question. So put in there if you understand. And if you don't, let me know. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to continue. I don't see any questions. So I'm assuming that you are understanding what I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to continue. So from here, you're going to keep going down on the advanced. So chart of accounts, you have a choice. You can use numbers or you can just use the names. I have a habit of leaving it off, the numbers off. I don't want numbers in the chart of accounts, all right? And classes, it depends on the version of QuickBooks you have. You can use classes. So classes, most of you with properties, you can maybe use that, or you can use the locations to track your properties. So say you have 10 properties, you can use the location for the address. So you'll be able to pull profit and loss per location if you turn this on. And this is all under accounting and settings under the advanced. That's where you get this. Now, this one here, I want everyone to turn it off. Pre-fill forms with previously entered content. It's very dangerous to have this on because when you do that, when you're entering stuff, it will fill in, say you have Macy's or someplace. One time you bought a computer, another time you bought supplies. If you had filled it in with computer and you tell it to pre-fill, it's going to use the same account. So all your accounting will be all screwed up. So this is under the, on the top right gear, you go to accounting and setting, it's under the advanced, under automation. You want to turn that off. Now, for the automatically apply credits, I want that on. This is when you have invoices and you are making accepting payments, you want it to automatically apply the credits. That part I want on. Automatically invoice unbilled activity, I have it off. Automatically apply bill payment, I have it on, because you want it to, say you make an invoice for 10,000, they brought you 2,000, it will apply it to the first 10,000 or several invoices, it will apply it to the earliest invoice. So some features I want on, some features I don't want on, because you want to try and prevent making mistakes. So those of you who are working on projects, like you have the fix and flippers, you can use the projects feature. If you turn it on, you'll be able to assign all the income from that project to that particular project, and then all the expenses to that particular project. With that, you'll be able to pull profit and loss for just that project, so that you'll be able to know, was this project profitable? So the fix and flippers, those of you doing website development, what else? Any work that you need to evaluate whether the project is profitable, the project feature is going to help you. Now, about the currency, you can actually turn on the multi-currency. Those of you invoicing outside the country, say to Canada, to the UK, to wherever you are sending, you can do multi-currency. The multi-currency, though, you have to be very careful, because once you turn on the multi-currency, you cannot turn it off. And to turn it off, you have to start a whole new subscription. So I want you to really, really think twice before you turn on the multi-currency. It's a very, very extensive program, but if you turn the multi-currency on, you cannot turn it off. So I'm going to see if there are any questions. Okay, if you have questions, please put it in the question and answers for me. And also let me know if you're still seeing the screen, because it told me something about recording, and I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going, because it tells me this session is being recorded. So I'm hoping that it's still recording for me. And if it didn't, it's okay. I had to do it all over again. All right, so see your screen. Okay. Okay, so I don't have any question. Oh, great. Okay, you can see the screen. Fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I hope this is helpful. So I know some of you don't already have QuickBooks, but I want this on record so that you can go back and watch it when you buy your QuickBooks. You'll be able to set it up. So the whole process, I'm just going through the whole process here for you. So I hope everything is making sense. If it doesn't, please put it in a question. Now I know the question and answer feature is working. I'm excited. Yay. Okay. So let's go, let's go. So I'm just going to save this. And now as I keep going down on here, I'm just going to save it. I'm not changing anything, because in America, and most of you are US based. I didn't have any Canadian this time. So the date format says month, day, year. But you have the choice. If you're in a different country watching this, you can switch it to whatever format that you have in your country, like day, month, and then year. The British folks, I know you guys have different formats. So whatever format you have, you can switch it. For the number format, again, you can also switch it to whatever makes sense to you. As far as the label, some people you have clients, you have guests, you have members, you have patients, you have tenants. You can always change it. It makes sense to see it as tenants if you have a rental property than seeing them as clients or customers. Or those of you with nonprofits, you will be able to select the donors. This is all under accounting and settings. It's on the advanced session. All right, so here you want it on. One, if duplicate check numbers is used. Now, most people don't write checks anymore, but it's still a good idea to have this feature on just in case you decide to print checks from the system. Warn me when I enter a bill number that's already been entered. This is a good feature to have on so that you don't double pay any vendor. Those of you who are getting invoices from vendors that you are entering, and I suggest you enter the invoices and then pay them, because sometimes you may forget that you've already paid that vendor, and then you end up paying them twice. I've seen it happen with folks who don't have this turned on. So you really want this on. One, if duplicate journal entry number is used. Most businesses don't do journal entries. It's mostly for accountants. So I'll just leave that off. And also you want the system to sign you off if you leave it for idle for so long. So I say 1 hour is plenty of time for somebody to get in and do a lot of mess with your stuff. So put 1 hour, don't do 3 hours, that's too long. And with that, you want to save anytime you make any changes in here. So then I'm going to go back to, hopefully it's spinning. Let's see. Okay, while it's spinning, let me see if I have any more questions. So if you have any more questions, please, you can put it in the chat, in the question and answers for me, if you have any more questions. And let me know if it's making sense. Okay, so when I go to the sales tab, over here again, you can customize it the way you want. You can say you want net 30, or the method that you want to use, you want to print it. I tell most people now, email your invoices now that it's available. Don't bother printing and mailing. You can turn on the shipping. The custom fields are more extensive. If you want, you can always go to help and find out what you have to do. But I'm just going over the fundamentals in this class. So you can say custom transaction numbers. You can make your own numbers, or you can have it do custom transaction numbers for you. The service date, those of you in service, is very important that when you invoice, sometimes you may go see the person or do the service another day and do the invoices at another day. So you want to turn on the service date so that they know that even though you are invoicing them for today, you did the service, say, on Monday. So you want to have that service date in there. You can turn on discounts, deposits if you want to, gifts and gratuity. That gets a little bit complicated. So again, that's a customized training that you want. You can always get extensive training on that. So those of you with inventory, you can track your inventory in here. You can show the SKU numbers. So you can turn it on. When you turn it on, you can turn on the system to track the quantity and the price, track inventory on hand. This is so crucial because you don't want to sell items that you don't have in stock. So what it does is that if you have this on, it will stop you from selling something if you don't have it in stock. And then here you can turn on a late fees if somebody is not paying you. But I suggest that don't let anybody owe you. Collect your money up front before you send anything out. And then it comes to the progress invoicing. The progress invoicing, those of you with website developer, remodeling contractors, projects managers, anything you are doing that, say the core contract is 100,000, but you can build them at increments of completion. The progress invoicing feature is excellent. And I'll cover that when I do invoices. You can do an estimate for 100,000, and then you can progress bill as you complete the job. So you can bill 25%, you can bill by project type, or you can bill by the item, or you can bill by the completion, percentage of completion. That's an awesome, awesome feature if you need that. And then for default messages, you can type any default messages. You can choose to use the full name or just the first name. So it will say, dear such and such, your invoice is due. And over here, you can customize the message that it shows that when you send the invoices out. And then you can tell it to email a copy of the invoice to yourself so you can have it for your files. And you can just customize this here. So this is for estimate. So if you want it for estimate or invoices and other forms, you can just change all this here. All right. And then on the delivery, this one is very crucial over here. Most of us are sending invoices by email. So you can tell it to do it in a plain text or HTML, whatever you are comfortable with. And I always tell it to attach a PDF of the invoice so somebody don't have to sign into QuickBooks to see the copy of the invoice. They can just show that in there, or you can also tell it to show full detail in an email. So you will show them the full detail of the invoice in an email. I use the online invoice on this one so that everything becomes, you know, online. So you do this one here. Now, if somebody owes you money, you can always, at the end of the month, for example, you can do statements. So you can turn on the statements, customize how you want the statement to show the aging table. So it will show what is owed in what is current, what is 30 days, what is 60 days, what is 90 days, and 90 days plus. So you can customize that. So it lists each transaction. You can, or you can just let it include all the detail lines. So it's all up to you and what you want to do. So that is that part. Then we come to the usage. Here is a little bit straightforward, so I'm not going to waste your time on this one, but I wanted to cover the advanced. And those of you who use the time, you can also set this up for the time for it. So that is that for the basics on how to set up your QuickBooks program. So let me go back here and see if there are any questions. Okay, I don't see any questions from any of you. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, hold on. Okay. So now that we've covered setting up the QuickBooks, I'm just going to go to here on the banking. And then I'll switch into more taxes after the 30-minute mark. Okay, so once you set up the settings, you can come to the banking screen here. And on the banking screen, this is where you link all the bank accounts. So you click here and say link account. You can link all your bank accounts or credit cards. Now, this is a test mode file, so it won't let me go any further. But what it does is, say you go to Chase, for example, and then it won't let me go any further because it's a trial version. It will ask you for your login information for the bank. And in many cases, it will want you to sign on in another browser into the bank. Once it detects that you are able to get into the bank on the browser, it will let you proceed in here. And then you can go ahead and link the bank. So once you do that, hold on. Okay, so once you do that, you connect the bank account, it will show you this screen over here. So it will link your checking, your savings, your credit cards. You can link as many accounts as you want. I haven't seen any limits. I've had somebody do about 40 accounts and we still were okay between credit cards and bank accounts. So once you link it here, it will download the transactions for you. And then with the transactions downloaded, you'll be able to post these transactions over here. So with that, you can just jump in and just say you open this up. And then once you open it up, you want to make sure that whatever the details that says in the bank detail, you highlight it. You highlight the bank detail. Just Control C, copy the old-fashioned way. And then you come here, Control V, and it will paste it. This is already in there, so we don't have to. But say if it wasn't, let me say, I'll just add something. If it wasn't in here, we can just say add. Let me try it again. We're just going to add new. It's a little bit slow for some reason. Okay, so I'm just going to type in one, Comcast. Add the name of the vendor. So we don't need all the details. So I'm just going to say add, save here, and it's going to add Comcast. So now we have Comcast as a customer. Then you come here. So Comcast is for internet, for example. So I'm just going to type in internet and it's not there. So you're just going to say add. When you click add, it's very important that you drop down because it automatically pick up banking and we don't want banking. So internet expense, all expenses has to come here. Either it's expense or it's cost of goods sold. And with that, I'm just going to say expense. And then with the detail, and this is all specific to QuickBooks, it doesn't apply to other software. So we're just going to say internet is more, I probably will put it under general admin. And then we're just going to say save and close. Now, a lot of you, when you just signed up, they've changed the screen where this is the accounting exposure, but on another one, it will say new account. So it's slightly different, but it's almost all the same, comes to the same thing. So with that, once you're happy with the vendor and the expense, you're just going to click on add or confirm. If you have the new version, it will say confirm or it will tell you match. The matching though, the matching means that it found a transaction in your check register and it's matching whatever was downloaded. So usually I have an OCD, so I'll click on it to make sure that the name is right. So if you look here, it's already pre-recorded and it's the same name. Sometimes I will even click on this to go take a look at it in the detail before I match it. But most of us, we are not wasting time typing things in. That is if you don't print your checks. But if you printed your checks, it will be in there. But most of us don't pay checks anymore. So most of us don't even go through the step. And so it's not even necessary if you don't print your checks. So once it matches, you're just going to say match in here. So between the adding and the matching, while you are doing this, the system is automatically generating your profit and loss for you. It's also generating your balance sheet for you. So I'm going to briefly go to reports to show you there. So under reports, under standard report, there are tons of reports in here, but the most used ones are the profit and loss. You can have accounts receivable, payroll summary, all types of reports, over 40 in the basic subscription of reports. So the most used one is this one, the profit and loss statement. If the bank is asking you for that, this is where you come get it. You go to reports on a navigator, you pull the profit and loss. So with that, you can always change the dates up here manually, or you can just drop down on this side and say, okay, I want this quarter, for example. And once you change it, you just hit run. And if there's anything, this is a sample file, so it may or may not show much. Okay, so we got lucky, we show something. So you see how it changed the date on itself. And then you can scroll down. So this is all your income up here, your sales, if you have sales. And then your cost of goods sold, those of you with products based or even the service based, any expense that you are buying in order to produce directly the service, you can put it in cost of goods sold, but you want to be careful what you throw in there, because if you throw everything in the cost of goods sold, your gross profit is not going to look right. When the EIDL loan came in, what the government was doing was, I think, in my own formula in my head, they divided whatever your gross profit was and gave you half of that as the EIDL loan. So you don't want to throw everything under the sun in the cost of goods. So you want to only use things that are directly related. And any general operating expenses, you want to leave it down here. You don't want to throw it into the cost of goods sold. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so far I don't have any more questions, so I'm going to keep going. So we are into the profit and loss aspect of things. So with that, with all your revenue, and you want to break down your revenue. Say, for example, whatever business you have, you want to break it down. So these people are landscaping, so they are breaking it down by design income, landscaping service. So say you sell websites, you want to say done for you, done with you, or DIY support, that kind of things. If you are a marketing agency, you can decide SEO support, web design, or whatever. This way you will be able to make an informed decision as to which sector of your segment or sector of your business is bringing in the most income. So that's why it's important to break down your income by the income type, all right? And then, of course, the cost of goods sold side, similar, that one you can keep it simple. If you are a manufacturer and you want to break down your labor, or if you are, say, your auto body shop, you want to break down your labor, or if you have specific labor thing that you want to track, a subcontractor, a general contractor, you want to break down your labor so that you can really make a good decision, by all means, track it under here. And then from here, all the general expenses will be coming underneath from here. You are renting equipment, not specific to any particular job, but it's general use, job materials, or whatever, an accounting, bookkeeping. Accounting can be different from the bookkeeping because some people use a CPA like myself, or they have a bookkeeper on the side. So you probably want to break that down so you know, and you have an attorney for it, repairs and maintenance for your facility, your utilities. So all these are important expenses that you want to track, because when we go to the tax return, you will see how you had to break all that down. A lot of you are working from home. My tip for you is do not do the home office deduction, and I'm comfortable in saying it here with vigor, because if you do the home office deduction, when you sell your home, the taxman is going to want a portion of the capital gain that normally you would have been exempted for $250,000 if you're single, and if for $500,000, whatever portion that you claimed as a business use of home, that portion is going to be taxable. So even if you work from home, my advice is do not. Just deduct your full mortgage interest and property tax on the Schedule A. Do not do the home office deduction. That is very, very important. However, because you're home, your utility may go up. So that's the only time I say allocate the portion of the home that is a portion of the utility. That one you'll be able to have the business reimburse you for it, but do not do the home office deduction. On the flip side, if you're a renter, if you're renting, then that's okay. You can do a portion of your rent and have the business reimburse you for the rent. That's okay, because that is not attached to your home where you own and there will be any capital gains. So let me know you understand this. I'm going to check for questions. Okay, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to keep going. So let's take a 5-minute stretching break and then come back.